Hi, I'm Pastor Billy Joe Hillbilly. You may recognize me from the A Time to Think video series. Or maybe you don't. I decided that I would take a brief hiatus from the A Time to Think series and try something a little different. I'm going to call this series Tidbits. And this will be my attempt, likely futile attempt, like resistance, futile. It will be my likely futile attempt to keep to one specific topic and keep it brief. I'm going to aim for 5 minutes or less. Not that that will happen, I'm sure, but I'm gonna try. So, this first episode 1 of Pastor Billy Joe Hillbilly's Tidbits, is probably going to go over 5 minutes, maybe. But again, I'm going to try to just touch on one topic, and I'll try to be brief. Today I want to talk about the one single most important job for Christians. So I want to start by telling you a little bit about an incident or something that came up one day at work. We were standing around talking, and somebody brought up a man's name, and this man happens to be related directly and or indirectly to several individuals that I worked with at the time. And someone said something about him being a gay atheist. Okay. All right. A little bit later, a specific coworker and I were standing together, and no one else was around. And she said something to me that just simply may have been one of the most perfectly right thing that I think I'd ever heard. This woman, wise, just got it figured out. She has it figured out. So few do. I mean, so few. But she nailed it. I mean, perfectly. 100%. Exactly on the head. Bang. She said, if he's an atheist, then the Christians in his life failed him. I may not have phrased it exactly the same way. It was basically, again, that if he's an atheist, it's because Christians failed him. And that is exactly what it is. Exactly. 100%. I mean, Christians, I'll try to keep a grip here because I get frustrated easily. Christians have a job, and that job is to act as a lens to focus God's love on all the people they meet, everybody around them. It does not matter if you agree with their sexual orientation or their politics or their whatever. I don't care. You are to love them. Period. Period. I understand that sin separates us from God. And I understand that a person is not going to feel the need for a relationship with God if they don't understand what separates them from God. So yes, you have to call sin sin. You have to point it out. But you don't have to do it in such a way that you don't do it to hurt. You don't do it you don't show disgust. You're a sinner. Do you know that? You're a Christian? Oh, Christians aren't perfect. Just forgiven. That's an excuse. You know? Christians use that as an excuse. I'm saved. Do whatever I want. Doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. And I'm not saying every Christian. Okay. Sometimes I exaggerate to make a point. Sometimes I, put a little too much emphasis in one direction or another. So forgive me. But it's your one job to act as a lens, sort of a magnifying lens to focus God's love. Because see, God's not here. I mean, Spirit is here. But physically, He's not here. He loves us enough that He became physical and lived and died what I can understand to be an extraordinarily horrific, painful death. Horrible. Beyond anything that most people can even grasp. Horrible death. He came and He lived and He died for us because He loves us that much. That's not to, don't confuse love and acceptance. You can love somebody and not accept that sinful human nature. But He came to earth. He became physical to live and die for us because He loves us. And now that He's off-world, now that His physical body is not here with us now, then it's the job of Christians to continue that. So, again, I don't care if you agree with someone's politics. I don't care if their hair is purple or pink, or if they have every part of their body pierced or tattooed or whatever. I don't care. You, if you are a Christian, you are to love them, period. Love them. If they need help, you help them. If they need food, you feed them. If they need clothes, you clothe them. There's a quote. It's attributed to Gandhi, but my understanding is it was not Gandhi that actually said it. And it's not, this was sort of a paraphrase of the original quote, but this is taken on, this is kind of, this is how everyone hears the quote and again, it's attributed to Gandhi, but that he probably was not. He probably didn't actually say this in these exact words. And again, it was another individual, I think, that probably said this in the first place. But beside the point, it's an extremely good quote. Whoever said it or came up with it or paraphrased somebody else, I don't care. It was, how did it go? I love your Christians. No, excuse me. Sorry, I screwed up. Won't be the first time. I love your Christ, but not your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. That's about right. I love your Christ, but not your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Pretty much nails it. Anyway, just give it some thought. Are you doing your job? Are you doing the job that God has assigned you, which is to go out into the world and preach the good news, to go and take care of others, to show God's love, because how else are they ever going to know it? I pray you'll think about it. Okay, that's it for today.